Here we go. Hello. Yes, I'm late to the party. Sorry, everyone. I'm just getting situated here. And yeah, how are you guys all doing? How's your night going? Hi, Joe. Nice to see you. Yes, I'm here. I'm here. I've just been late to the party. Just been trying to get something situated, and it just turned out it didn't work. So that's okay. That's okay. So how are you guys all doing tonight? How are you? Welcome. This is going to be awesome. I had an experience last night with my dreams, and I just want to share it with you because I tried something new. It's called lucid dreaming. No, it's called lucid dreaming. And this is amazing. So I want to share with you later on exactly what I experienced, as I'm sharing. This is something that I do not normally recommend because I've had out-of-body experiences while lucid dreaming. Can you guys all hear me okay? And so I'm a little apprehensive when it comes to lucid dreaming, but I tried a new approach, and I recommend that you do not do lucid dreaming unless you are self-aware and you've practiced mindfulness. So tonight we're going to dive into this because it's really interesting and it can help you. I know it can. It helped me because I was ready for it. That's the thing. How do we say this? You know, things for you can be either good or bad. And if you're not prepared to handle something, then yeah, it's going to be bad. But if you are prepared to handle it, then it's going to be wonderful and effective for you. And it turns out people use this all the time. This is not something new. I didn't know that lucid dreaming was used to help with your trauma, but it is. So have you ever found yourself in a dream suddenly where you are aware that it's all just a creation of your mind? Imagine being able to alter the very fabric of that dream while still immersed in it. Now, if you're experiencing this, or if you have ever experienced it, congratulations, because you're in for one heck of a ride. Good, I'm glad you're good. Good, Joe. It's nice to see you. So, when you've experienced lucid dreaming, you've kind of just dipped your toe into the incredible world of it. I mean, it's an experience. It's a thrill of a lifetime. It's a ride of a lifetime that once you experience the goodness of it, the good aspects of it, you're just like, woo, I don't want to get out of bed. Let's do that again. Now, many of you have experienced flying in your dreams, or maybe you've experienced falling. That's lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is a remarkable state of consciousness where you actively take your awareness into the dream realm with you. Normally, we just fall asleep and, you know, we're just off in la la land and unaware. But lucid dreaming is where you take your conscious awareness with you in the dream state. Now, this is extraordinary because you are given insight that allows you to influence the narrative. You get to manipulate the environment in your dream state and interact with characters as if you're the director of your own immersive film. And guess what? You take that with you to your physical reality. Because the brain, the mind, doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality. So I'm getting ahead of myself here. So picture this. Can you journey, like you can journey from a mild state of awareness in lucid dreaming, where this is where you recognize you're dreaming, But you don't engage with any characters or anything in your dream. You just let it play out. But you're aware that you're dreaming. But lucid dreaming can go to a full immersion where you seize control and sculpt your experience with intention. And when you have that intention, well, this is not just dreaming, my friends. It's a freaking adventure. It's amazing. So why do we embrace lucid dreaming? Well, lucid dreaming is not only exhilarating, but it is also profoundly enriching. Many of us use it as a source of creative inspiration. This is how the person who invented the Singer sewing machine, this is how that came about. Many inventions, many people who are inventors, they have a lucid dream and they take that dream into their waking reality, because in their lucid dream, they were given answers. So lucid dreaming can be used as a tool for problem solving. And, oh, Joe says, I had a dream of my truck being towed away the other night. Is your truck paid for? I would have to say, take a look around you in your real life, in your waking life, because what does your truck mean for you? Whatever your truck means for you, I know oftentimes when I have driving dreams, it means that God is telling me that I'm taking the lead, meaning that it's my ego taking the lead and driving my life. And I look in the other situations of that dream where I have no direction. I'm driving on the highway, but I have no destination. That's my ego. My ego doesn't want me to have a destination. So I encourage you to just take a look at what's going on in your scenarios. I actually woke myself up yelling, stop! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! So what does your truck mean to you? Is there some sentimental value to it in the way of how did you come about getting your car? Did you purchase your car when you were with somebody else, or did you purchase it alone? Or is it like a make and model of somebody who fancied that make and model? Like maybe your grandfather or your dad liked the Chevy, and so you bought a Chevy. So there's lots of things that this dream can tell you. So there's, your truck has some sort of sentimental value to you. So if your truck is taken away, then maybe those memories that you had with somebody else is taken away as well. So you might be projecting the situation onto your truck because that's the closest thing. Maybe I'm just spitting balls here, but what's coming to me is that possibly, without spilling the details, because Joe and I have talked personally in emails, so I'm not going to spill the details, but the sentimental value of that truck is a representation of what you're sentimental about or who you're sentimental about. And because of the situation and the way it's going, then the truck is the only thing left that you have to hold on to the sentimental situation. Joe says, no, it's my lifeline. No, I need it to tow my home. So make sure then, Joe, that you don't go anywhere with your truck that's going to get you a ticket or into trouble. So don't park into those parking lots and keep your truck parked there after hours, because that happens as well. So here's an example. I had a dream last year about, I drive a Jeep, and it's a black Jeep Compass. And I love my vehicle too. And it was God-given. There's sentimental value to it. So in my dream, I was driving my Jeep, and I ended up smashing my Jeep into a hay pile, just a pile of hay. And this crash caused a backup there was a traffic backup, and I couldn't get out of this jam. Like, I didn't damage my car, but I couldn't back up my car and maneuver away out of the mess and the hay and out of the traffic jam. I had to sit there and wait until the traffic behind me went away, because me crashing into this hay bale caused other cars to crash as they were driving behind me. Nobody crashed into me. But what happened the day I woke up, my life came crashing down on me. I had a scenario with somebody where, yeah, I survived, but I had to wait. I had to endure some things and wait for the situation with this person to be over. Like, it was not good, and the situation had to clear itself. And wow, it was, yeah, I can't tell you the details because they were really personal, and other people were involved in this. But yeah, sometimes dreams are warnings, Joe. So just watch out for that. Maybe go to bed tonight and ask God for clarification of your dream. That helps. So why do we embrace lucid dreaming? Because lucid dreaming is not only exhilarating, but it's profoundly enriching. Many use it as a source of creative inspiration, like I said, a tool for problem solving, or simply a way to explore the depths of our subconsciousness. Imagine unlocking hidden potentials, discovering insights, and navigating through challenges of your life, all while you sleep. That's like 8 hours of working out a problem, 8 hours of being shown. Well, you don't dream totally for 8 hours. You sleep for 8 hours, and maybe you dream for 4 or 3. But still, 4 or 3 hours a night of dreaming is enough to get you to where you need to go in life. Working on a situation to find a solution to your outside problem, your physical problem in your waking state. If you're fixated on problem solving for 3 or 4 hours, you're going to come out of that dream with a solution. That's pretty amazing. Now, there are powerful techniques to cultivate this skill of lucid dreaming, such as maintaining a dream journal and practicing mindfulness. You can do meditation methods, as these methods can enhance your ability to enter the lucid state by allowing you to reclaim your narrative in your life. Lucid dreaming, I'm going to tell you, is extremely important. Once you do it, once you have it, you're never going to want to go back. So Joe says, this could mean that God doesn't want me to go somewhere that I want to. Ah. Yep. You got it. You got it. Ask God for clarification on that, but I think you are right on it. You just hit the nail on the head. So, harnessing lucid dreaming for healing. That's why I wanted to do this video for you today, because I have fragmented memories from childhood trauma. And so I was given this situation in this dream state, and I'll share with you at the end of this video, but in waking up and just going over this scenario and trying to figure it out, God gave me some information about my past that I never assumed. Excuse me. I never wanted myself to allow myself to even think that what happened to me, as bad as it was, could have gotten worse, as I blocked out the memories. So I didn't allow myself to go there. I just like, okay, well, I don't remember, so I don't need to entertain that. I don't need to go on what ifs, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, just leave that alone. And God shared some insight with me about that today. And if he would have shared that with me like a year ago, I wouldn't have been able to do this video. I probably would have canceled for a few days, and I would have been in a depression and crying and bawling and trying to sort this out. So God gives you answers in your lucid dreams, in your dreams, when you are ready. God gives you answers even in your prayers when you are ready, not before. So let's just explore how lucid dreaming can actually be used for healing, because it's an extraordinary tool for you in your personal healing journey. While it can occur spontaneously, like lucid dreaming can occur spontaneously. It doesn't, it happens like that. When you're ready, it happens. But for most of us, it's a practice. You can enter your dream state with confidence and intention. When you go to bed at night, you can ask God to wake you up instead of using an alarm clock. I do that quite often. Before I did this video, I got myself into meditation because I was so excited. I had an hour and a half before this video. I thought, okay, let me just see if I can go into lucid dreaming. God, can you wake me up at 9:30? Well, I didn't fall asleep, but I had some powerful insights in this meditation, and I was surprised with myself because normally when I get into meditation, 5 minutes is all it takes, and I wake up and I'm like, dang it, what's wrong with me? Why can't I stay, coherent in my meditation? And this time in my meditation, I lasted an hour in coherence. I did not fall asleep. So I won either way. Even though I didn't get into the lucid dreaming, I won anyway. And I had some powerful things. I was seeing faces and scenarios, little rapid fire scenarios in my meditation. And I was just like, what is that? What is that? And I'd search and go search deeper in my mind I see that eye, like I saw an eye, a little eye looking at me. And I was just like, what is that? Is that like representative of, because God says that his eyes are on us. And so I'm just like, is that your eye on me? Is there an angel watching me? And it was just so powerful and so neat. So, I asked God when I went into this meditation to lucid dream, I said, God, can you wake me up at 9:30? And he didn't allow me to fall asleep. And oftentimes I can go to bed and say, God, can you wake me up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock for work? Can you, somebody's coming over. Can you wake me up, so I can have the house ready for company and this and that? Sure enough, he does. He'll wake me up even earlier. God, I need to get some writing done. Can I just get a little bit of sleep? Wake me up at 4 a.m. Done. It's amazing. Many of my books that I've written, wee hours of the morning, and God has woken me up. I go to bed at 9 o'clock in the evening or 10 o'clock in the evening. He'd wake me up at 4 o'clock in the morning to write books. It's amazing. Just go into this with confidence and security in trust. and you'll get results. By trusting in God and your ability to control the dream, you take back your power. An empowering shift happens that facilitates healing from past traumas. And I'm kind of excited to share something with you. So here's how to harness lucid dreaming for healing. Let's explore how we can lucid dream in a way that shares with you that this is an extraordinary tool for your personal healing. It takes you on the road to recovery, okay? Now, it sounds woo-woo, it sounds ungodly, but Job does say in scripture that God does approach us in our dreams to get our attention. And if he doesn't get our attention that way through our dreams, this is the other method that he uses, the last resort method, and you don't want to go here. This is found in Job. God says if he's not grabbing your attention in your dreams, then he's going to get your attention with your health. Yeah, you don't want to go there. I'd rather have God approach me in my dreams. I'd rather have nightmarish dreams and be chased, through, I have so many dreams where I'm being chased through the neighborhood and I'm jumping through fences and running through people's homes and checking people's doors to see if they're open so I can go through them to evade whoever is chasing me. I never know who's chasing me, but I just know somebody's chasing me. So lucid dreams can help you face your fears, because normally when we're getting chased in dreams, there's something going on in the reality of our physical life that we're not liking, that we're avoiding, that we just rather not acknowledge, hoping we can ignore it and it'll just go away. Yeah. You can heal from that. You can gain courage, because if you can stand up to whatever is chasing you in your dream, you can stand up and grab some courage and face what is chasing you. Imagine confronting your fears, resolving inner conflicts, or simply finding peace in a safe dream environment. Lucid dreaming can be a catalyst for transformation, enabling you to rewrite your emotional experiences and emerge stronger than ever before. And I'm just so ecstatic about this, because yesterday morning I did a video and I ranted, I vented. I allowed my emotions to get the better of me. I got frustrated with YouTube, got frustrated with life. And yet, a lucid dream that had 1, 2, 3, 4 dreams, and I was waking up and going back into a dream. I actually revisited the dream I just came out of, and it was just like, wow, that was powerful. So I kept waking up. So I probably had about 5 or 6 different dreams last night and this morning, and I can remember 3 of them. So they were scenarios about my past, of course, like not past trauma, but just people in my past, and how to better deal with some hidden unforgiveness. So I just want to delve into this a little bit, because we're going to delve deeper into an incredible potential of lucid dreaming, because you're going to discover you can tap into life-changing dreams. And this is a skill, but it doesn't mean that you have to spend 5 years or 2 months or 3 weeks trying to hone in on how to lucid dream. If you want to do this, you can do this. It's not hard, but there's some caveats to talk about first before you just dive in. So let's just get the introduction, because I have yet to introduce myself to you. For those of you coming in on this channel who are new, welcome, hi. For those of you who are the familiar faces of this channel, hi, welcome. It's good to see all of you. Thank you for joining me tonight as I want to talk about, obviously, you already know, lucid dreaming. My name is Shannon Gilmore, and it's just a thrill that you could join me tonight, because this is a transformational journey of healing, finally. I shared yesterday how you can use NLP, or was it today? I really don't know. Days are melding into each other. No, today we talked earlier about NLP, using reframing, doing regression, and also anchoring. These 3 modalities will help you heal of trauma and heal of that narcissistic trauma, whoever they are to you. You can use anchoring to anchor a sound and switch the meaning of that sound and turn that negative into a positive. This is how you can help heal yourself of PTSD, by anchoring and reframing the situation. And you can go into what used to be called, what is called a past life regression, but this is just going to a regression in this life, a timeline regression of your past. So it's a past regression of where the original trauma came from, and you take a look at that. And if you haven't watched the video that we did today on NLP, the video before this one, go check it out, because there's some nuggets of information that I know you can use. So I'm going to tell you that lucid dreaming can lead you on an extraordinary place of restoration. The lucid dreaming takes you into the dream realm that feels untouchable as it is in the physical, but it is accessible through the spirit, the dream state. Sorry, someone's just having a shower upstairs, so I gotta talk louder. Sorry, didn't mean to yell in your ear. So for many, entering the dream state can be a challenge, as we typically dream only during a little bit of our sleep, like maybe 3 or 4 hours of our dream state or our sleep state. And often those dreams slip away from our memory upon waking. Please hurry up and have your shower. Thank you. Yet there are those of us, myself included, who embrace the richness of our dreams. I've always used my dreams to help me unpack my childhood trauma. No matter how disturbing those dreams might be, as I've had reoccurring nightmares, as that's pretty common with trauma, I've personally harnessed my dreams as a profound tool for personal growth, allowing my dreams to guide me in becoming a better person in alignment with my values. Maybe that will be better. I can hear the shower, like it sounds like it's right next to me. It's above me, and the piping is just right here, so it's okay. It is what it is. It's fine. No problem. We'll get through this. So I've personally, like I've shared with you guys before, that I've personally learned to decode the symbolism within my own dreams and connect them to my life's experiences. And you can do this too. Each dream has been, for me, an exercise in self-control, mastering the ego so that it no longer dictates my actions. In our dream states, our egos often take the reins. leading us through fearful scenarios, fleeing from danger, falling from heights, or re-experiencing past traumas all over again. Our egos can create a relentless cycle of fear and intimidation, and it's time to take control. We can do this. I know you can. If I can, you can. It's going to be easy peasy for you. But there is good news that you don't have to relive your trauma in your dreams, because lucid dreaming liberates you. It empowers us to reclaim our control over our dreams, but ultimately reclaiming control over our inner beings. By stepping into awareness first, we then can transcend the fear and anxiety that our egos impose, allowing us to recreate or rewrite the narrative and emerge stronger and more resilient. Oh, you can hear me just fine? That's great. That's cool. Thank you, Joe. Thanks for letting me know, because I'm yelling over here. But this shower is probably only 10 minutes long, so it's not going to be too much longer. So now, before we really get into the diving into the transformative experience of lucid dreaming, I encourage you to first, number one, number one, this is what you got to do first. You got to embark on the journey of recovery of your trauma through mindfulness. While lucid dreaming offers incredible potential for healing, it also presents challenges that require readiness and awareness. So if you're not aware of yourself and aware of what your ego acts like towards you and towards people and things on the outside of your life, if you are not yet in control or becoming more aware of your emotions that well up every time you're triggered or when problems come along, then that's what you're going to react to in your dreams. When your dreams, someone comes along in your dreams and presents a fearful scenario, you're going to react like that in fear, exactly the way that you do in your reality, your physical life. If in your life you're used to infantile regression, meaning that when somebody confronts you, you resort to tears and you deal with problems by crying. There's nothing bad about that, but that's a symptom of trauma. It's called infantile regression, where I'm looking at my phone here and not looking at the camera here. Sorry. I'm so used to, I didn't take my phone down from its spot, so I'm staring at my phone thinking I'm talking to you guys, and no, you guys are right here. Okay, so if you're used to turning into infantile regression, which is, it's just a symptom of abuse where it's reactionary, where someone is abusing you, hurting your feelings, making you feel low, belittling you, chastising you, criticizing you, making you feel unworthy. How you process all of that is to cry. That was one of my symptoms, is I cried. I may not have cried in front of the person, but I would go off into my room or the bathroom and I would sit on the floor and just cry my heart out and pray to God and cry before Him and ask Him to help me. Excuse me, sorry. So if you are prone to symptoms, if you are still challenged in your life by symptoms of abuse, thank you, now it's quiet. I encourage you to work out those symptoms of abuse by becoming mindful. Journal your symptoms of abuse. Journal your reactions in life. Do mindful practices and stay in the moment. We've done videos on this. You know, one question that is very prominent or very important to ask yourself is, What in this moment do you need right now? Nothing. You're safe, you're warm, you're fed. You don't need to use your money, so you're good, right? In this moment, you're good. So that is an exercise in mindfulness where you're take your awareness and shift it off of your feelings and just look at your environment in the moment of now and not putting any judgment to the moment of now. Just let things be. If there's noise in the background, just let it be. Do your thing. You know, for example, the shower noise that we heard, there would have been a time when, if I was with one of my exes who were narcissists, they'd be like throwing a fit. You know, why can't they have a shower later? Why do they have to do it now? It's their prerogative if they want to have a shower at 10:43 in the evening. It's their prerogative to, you know, use all the hot water or have a 20-minute long shower. That's their prerogative. What they do upstairs, that's their own family. That's got nothing to do with me. That's their own business. But narcissists are impatient that way. But my point is that if you stay in the moment of now and not judge what's going on around you and just let the shower noise, just speak louder. It's not a problem. If you don't let outside things bother you in your moment, then you are well on your way to practicing self-awareness. Because the ultimate goal in self-awareness, the ultimate goal in your healing is to have the past, the present, and the future not affect you. There's no judgment. So understand this, the mind cannot distinguish between reality and fantasy. Although the dream state may feel like an enchanting escape from your physical world, know this, that it in fact is a reality. It is a profound reality where the body cannot follow. In the spiritual realm, that's where you go in your dream state. In the spiritual realm, you are granted the opportunity to learn, to grow, enabling you to bring those insights back into your physical existence. So in the dream state, you are not just a passive observer. You are an active participant. You are taught, you are challenged, you're confronted with truths that may be hurtful for you to face. This is perhaps why we oftentimes in our dreams don't remember our dreams. We forget them because I believe that the ego enters the sacred place too. And when it feels threatened, in the physical world, it's the ego that wields significant control or power. And when the ego accompanies you into your dream state, that's why we need to practice mindfulness and not go into your dream state full of fear and full of stress. You got to relax, let things go. Don't think about the problems of what happened today or yesterday or what could happen tomorrow. You just let that all go. You just allow yourself to exist in the present moment and you fall asleep. But sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes we take worry and stress into our dream state as we allow the ego to accompany our awareness, and this is what we react to. It's our ego reacting in fear, reacting in strife, reacting in jealousy, reacting in anger, reacting in rage, reacting in sorrow in our dream state. And so upon waking, we remember our dream states of fear and being fearful and reacting to it, because that's the ego. The ego wants us fixated on the fear, wants us fixated on the problem, never finding a solution to that problem. And so the ego thrives. But if there is a solution to the problem, when we've taken the ego to our dream state, well, the ego isn't going to allow us to remember. That's why we can only remember bits and pieces of it that don't make sense. Because the ego is hiding us from the truth, because the truth sets us free. The truth sets us free from the ego and from that problem. See, the ego forces us to try to find a solution to our problems by fixating on the problem, because the ego doesn't want solutions. The ego wants to compound a problem on a problem and compound and create interest. So it's important for you to practice mindfulness. And so I encourage you that until you have a good grasp on mindfulness, don't try to lucid dream. Like, don't be determined. Like, just, if it happens, it happens. Because sometimes it does happen. But just make sure that you're mindful and you practice mindful awareness first before you enter into your dream state. So I do encourage this because it's a vital step, as this vital step prepares you for the deeper work of lucid dreaming. Because lucid dreaming, like we said, can be mild to full immersion. And I've had where this was so freaky for me. I went out of body and I went through a wall in my house and into the kitchen. And I went through the door of my daughter's room to check on her. And I thought I was in reality. I thought I was physical reality. But when I went through the door, I went through her door. Actually, I didn't open it. I went through it, and I was just like, freaked me right out. So I jumped. Her wall for her bedroom is adjoining my bedroom. So I jumped, instead of going back through the door, I jumped through the wall that got me right back to my bedroom, and I went to my bed and went back into my body. And I know that sounds weird, but many people do have out-of-body experiences when they lucid dream. And that for me is scary because I've had negative experiences with lucid dreaming. And people who do lucid dream and do have the out-of-body experiences do say that they meet with malevolent beings. So that's why it's important for you, if that's what you want to do, if that's where you want to go with your lucid dreaming, just make sure you practice mindfulness and leave your ego on your bedside table, so to speak. Like, do not take your ego with you at any time. Like, when you're going to dream, do your very best to, like I said, fixate on the here and now, leave the past where it needs to be, leave the future where it needs to be, leave your emotions where they are, sleeping at rest. There's no need to be emotional at that moment when you're trying to sleep. If you want to worry and think about what's going on in your life, don't take it to the bed. Your bedroom is the marriage chamber of you and God. Now, this isn't some creepy sort of thing. It's just that you have intimacy with God in prayer and in your dreams, because your spiritual person is going to a spiritual realm and living out what it experienced in the physical life. and sharing that with all the people and the beings that your spirit meets in the dream state. And in that state, in that spiritual realm, your spirit is coming back into reality with new insight, with spiritual reconnection to other people who are spiritual. And because your spirit is always communicating with you and your ego and communicating with the ego of other people. So do you not think that your spirit would be like starved for spiritual attention and starved of, that spiritual connection with other beings? Oh, heck yeah. So this is the moment. It's like, okay, your spirit is like, okay, I get to be the tag along in your reality, in the fleshly state, in the physical realm. I'm the tag along, and I have to just let you do whatever you want to do, even though it's not good for you. It's not good for me, the spirit, but got to do it. So in your dream state, it's now the spirit that is the dominant one, and you in your awareness are the tag along. But lucid dreaming allows you, when you are intimate with your spirit and acting as one in your spirit in this dream state, then what happens is that you get to control some of the situations. You get to express yourself using your spirit man in the dream state. Sounds pretty cool, eh? Yeah. So just ground yourself in ground yourself in mindfulness, as that will set the stage for a profound transformation, and you'll be better equipped to navigate the dream world. You'll be able to harness its power to create positive change in your life. So mindfulness is the transformative practice of becoming fully present and engaged in the moment. Unlike simply reacting to your feelings, mindfulness invites you to become an observer of your thoughts and an observer of your emotions and your bodily sensations with a sense of calm acceptance. It embodies the essence of unconditional self-love, allowing you to witness your current circumstances without becoming entangled up in them. This perspective empowers you to gain profound insights into your reactions and behaviors. So you can cultivate mindfulness through a variety of powerful techniques, including meditation, deep breathing exercises, and mindful motivations, such as mindful movements, such as Tai Chi and stretching. These practices not only promote a sense of tranquility, but also significantly reduces stress and enhance emotional regulation. By fostering a deeper connection to yourself and to the world around you, these techniques teach you how to maintain a state of mindfulness throughout your day. That's pretty awesome. By integrating mindfulness into your daily routine, you can sharpen your focus, elevate your well-being, and cultivate a profound sense of peace in your life. Embrace mindfulness as a tool for personal transformation and experience that profound benefit that comes to you, as mindfulness is a tool to help you release your trauma. It's important to recognize a key truth, that practicing mindfulness isn't just a one-off. It's not a one-time achievement. It's not one and done kind of thing. It's, you gotta stick with it. You gotta practice it. You gotta, eventually you practice it so much, you will be in a state of self-awareness perpetually. It's a discipline. It's a continuous journey of growth and transformation. Simply engaging in mindfulness one time doesn't cut it. It doesn't mean that you're set up for life. Rather, mindfulness involves adopting a new way of thinking and evolving into a new state of being. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 8. That's unconditional love, my friends. And practicing mindfulness, being in the state of here and now, it allows you to not judge any situation. You're not fixated on jealousy, rage, offense, or feeling unworthy. You're just embracing the moment, allowing yourself to be. You're content. And that's a good place to be, because where there's content, there's peace. So as you embark on this journey, just be aware that your ego will naturally push back. Whether you're practicing lucid dreaming or practicing mindfulness, your ego's going to push back. That's what happened to me yesterday. And you might find yourself deeply connected in mindfulness for a few hours, only to be startled with an unexpected event that disrupts your peace. And in those moments, the ego will seize opportunity to take control. And it will. You'll be blindsided because working in the ego is so habitual. It's instinctual. So, however and whenever this happens to you, the grip on your ego becomes weaker whenever you practice mindfulness and you successfully come through a moment where you feel like you've been triggered, but you don't give in to that trigger. That's success. And the more times you go through that, the ego will become weaker and weaker with less of an emotional charge. So by allowing your feelings to surface and express themselves, you actually begin to see yourself through a fresh lens. It's essential to permit your ego to have its experience, as this gives you the opportunity to put your mindfulness practice into action. So stay committed to this path of your healing, because with mindfulness, when you give the persistence or perseverance in your mindfulness, you'll cultivate a state of self-awareness where the ego no longer is distracting you or dictating to you your reactions, what you should do, how you should feel, how you should treat that person or this person or that situation. Embrace each moment as a chance to grow, and you will find yourself navigating life with a greater clarity and resilience. So imagine unlocking a world, a hidden world within your own mind, a world where your deepest fears and desires unfold before you, and you have the power to control it. Wouldn't that feel liberating for you? This is the transformative magic of lucid dreaming, a place where self-awareness, healing, and personal growth are not only possible, it's inevitable. It's doable and it's inevitable. Picture this, becoming aware right in the middle of a dream. You just, whoa, you're just automatically, you're aware that you're dreaming. And instead of being a passive participant and just going with the flow, you're the architect of that dream. You get to change the landscape. If you're dreaming and if you're in a snowy landscape, you can say, no, I'm walking through tall grass. I'm walking through a meadow and I smell the tall grasses underneath my nose and there's birds chirping in the air. Oh, I just kind of smelled tall grasses there for a second. That was pretty cool. So I think lucid dreaming also opens up you spiritually to telepathy and cognition and clairvoyance. These aren't woo-hoo things. The Bible does talk about Jesus changing his face. He changed his likeness after he rose from the dead, and he presented himself to Mary Magdalene in the garden. She thought he was a gardener. She didn't recognize him. She thought his likeness looked like a gardener. And when he said, "It is I," she went, "Oh, Rabbi." And then there was another scenario where some of the disciples were walking along the road, and Jesus walked up to them and started talking to them. They didn't recognize him as Jesus. He changed his likeness. And then he started telling them the truth, and he slowly, oh. And it was when they understood who they were talking to, that's when Jesus's likeness was revealed to them. So understand that we are spiritual beings. Being spiritual is limitless, not limiting. Our flesh limits us. But when we walk in the Spirit, we have this knowing without knowing, this intuition that says, don't drive your truck here or else you might get a ticket. Joe. Sorry, I just had to. So, so just practice your self-awareness, and you're going to go places. And try lucid dreaming, because lucid dreaming opens you up to the spiritual impossibilities that are possible. You get to bring those possibilities into the impossible realm of your wakefulness state, and you get to act out in the Spirit, by the Spirit, for the Spirit, through the Spirit, in the flesh. That's pretty cool. So you can change the landscape in lucid dreaming. You can rewrite the story. You can say, no, I don't want to say that. I actually did that last night, but I wasn't aware that I was lucid dreaming until I came out of it. But I changed the landscape. So I got one step closer. Because in one of my dreams, I faced somebody in my real life who intimidates the hell out of me. Seriously. I saw this person rage, and this raging gave me PTSD. I was so scared of being confronted by this person. I was like, I regressed back into childhood where I was always like hyper vigilant. Should I say this? Should I do this? Oh, they're going to know. They're going to know this. They're going to know that. Oh my gosh, my parents are going to find out. Oh my, and there my parents would be giving me trouble. You're grounded. And I get this yelling and lecture and this and that. Well, I regressed in a situation that I went through with this person. I was seriously hypervigilant. And so in my dream last night, I confronted this person. And it wasn't confronting them like, please don't say that to me. Don't call me that. No, that's not who I am. Oh, you're silly. No. In this dream, I stood up for myself, and I actually forcibly put my hands on this person, pushed them back, and I was going to punch them and hit them to show them that you can't push me around. I am a fighter, but I didn't fight that time in the real life scenario. But I can fight if I want to. So here, let's go to toe. But I changed it. In my dream, I was going to hit this person, but in my dream, I changed it. And I used my words on this person instead. And I said, you freaking deal with me like that again? You come into my home unannounced again? You get in my face again? You threaten my life again? Every time I said, you come into my house again, I'm calling the frickin' police. You threaten me and my family again, I'm calling the freaking police. And I had this person grabbed by the shirt collar, and I'm right in their face in my dream, and I'm like, I'm calling, and I was like showing my teeth. Because I think that came from Jordan Peterson. He's a psychologist in Toronto here, and he has a YouTube channel that is phenomenal. He talks about, excuse me, different mental illnesses, narcissism, bipolar disorder, anxiety, psychopathy. He dissects children's movies like Pinocchio and Cinderella, Snow White, I think he did. And he dissects these from a psychological viewpoint. He did Pinocchio. That was an awesome one that he did on Geppetto and the whale and Jiminy Cricket. And so he came out with just a little YouTube short that basically talked about people being too nice. And for me, I've always been called, oh, you're too nice. What Jordan Peterson calls people who are labeled too nice are agreeable people. And there's nothing wrong with being agreeable, but when we're agreeable to the point of our own demise, and our agreeableness allows people to take advantage of us, then it's no longer good. And Jordan Peterson says, sometimes agreeable people need to show some teeth and fight back, not with fists, but show your teeth and get like that in order to get people to back down and back the heck off of you and leave you alone. You got to do that to put up boundaries and to earn people's respect. See, with agreeable people, not everyone respects you. The predators see agreeable people and say, they're a pushover. They'll say yes to anything I ask. They'll give it to me. They'll let me do that. They'll let me cheat on them. They'll let me be late for dinner. They'll let me take out, $5,000 from our joint account. What can they do? When you grit your teeth and show your teeth and fight back in a way that gets you seen and heard in the way that you take back your emotional power. Hi, Razor Vard, nice to see you. Stand your ground. Exactly. When you stand your ground, you take control of yourself, and that is what earns people's respect. And when they see that, oh, you can grit your teeth, you're showing your teeth, you're showing those pearly whites. So, okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to back off. Well, that's what I did in my dream. As my dream showed me that I am very capable of standing up for myself. And there's times when I need to be agreeable, and there's times when I need to just show some teeth. And show people that, hey, you can't take advantage of this gal. No way. Not anymore. And so that dream was very empowering. And yeah, so I woke up from that dream just empowered, like I was taught a lesson. In me standing up for myself, thank God I didn't hurt this person, but I pushed back, and I pushed forcibly enough to get this person to, in my dream, to say, hey, okay, I understand. I can't mess with you. So in your lucid dreaming, we can heal ourselves of our traumas. The spirits in the spirit realm can teach, lead, and guide us. And that unresolved fear, Razor says, yes, dreams are powerful in many ways. Truth of the unconscious can teach us lessons. Amen. Yes, Absolutely. And so when we have unresolved fear, that kind of weighs heavy on your heart, right? So we have something that is available to us that we don't often take advantage of. Like, we don't make good use of our dreams. We have a safe space to relive those unresolved, fearful moments and those traumas. But this time with control. We control ourselves. And when we control ourselves in our dreams and work out those traumas, we then change the narrative. We then change the story. We then overcome the pain. And we then set ourselves free. So picture yourself releasing emotional baggage that has held you back for many years, finally stepping into a version of yourself that is unburdened, healed, and whole. Lucid dreaming allows you to rewrite the narrative of your trauma, empowering you to face some situations in your waking life with confidence and inner peace. Lucid dreaming also unleashes creativity without limits. How does that sound to you? That you can get creative if you're stuck on, say you're a poet and didn't know it, or you wrote songs for a living, or you needed to write a dissertation or some sort of thesis, or maybe you had to collaborate with somebody on writing an essay, or maybe you needed to take a test and you're struggling with studying. You're struggling with your words. Grammarly can't always help you. Haha, that's my joke. The point is, you go into your lucid dream and you can find solutions. You can find the right words to say. If you're struggling with how to heal your marriage or heal your relationship, you can go into a lucid dream and figure it out. Seriously, it's that simple. And in lucid dreams, it's like there's no boundaries. It's a limitless possibilities in there. This is where artists, innovators, and visionaries have found breakthroughs in this limited or limitless space where the ordinary rules do not apply. Think of the possibilities. New ideas, creative solutions, deep insights flooding your mind with inspiration. This is a realm where anything is possible, and your imagination is the only boundary. This is where you truly can be yourself. Whether yourself is negative or positive. And on this channel, we promote positive healing vibes, unconditional love. But in the lucid dream state, that's why I say you got to be careful and be mindful, practice mindfulness, because in this state there are negative entities. Razor Vard says, I wonder if Jesus dreamed, if he received the word from God that way. Yeah, I would imagine so. I would imagine so, because dreaming is, all it is deep meditation. It's deep prayer. We're told in Scripture to meditate on Scripture, meditate on the promises of God, meditate on His Word. So, fruit fly. So I'm under the impression that when God tells us something and directs us to do it, He does it also. When He tells us to not pick favorites, we're told in His Word that there are no favorites. He doesn't pick favorites. He doesn't have a favorite man over a woman, or a man over a man, or a woman over a man, or a woman over a woman. Like, we're all the same. There's no favorites. So when God says that he comes to us in our dreams, and this is in the book of Job, where God tries to get our attention in our dream state. And if we allow him to and open ourselves up to him teaching us in our dreams, he'll do it. So yeah, it makes sense to me that Jesus dreamt and that Jesus would teach, or God would teach him. I do trust my dreams, Razor Vard says. Events have happened that became reality. Awesome. And I have tried to communicate with my narcs by doing this. Really? Interesting. I don't see, that's one question that I've always had, because it's been my experience that the narcs do not dream. Just the narcissists that I've known don't dream, and if they do, it's very rare, as they don't remember, and it has to do with the lack of the alpha wave that they have. Their alpha wave is very, very, very minimal. So, because we have 5 brain waves: the alpha, the beta, the delta, the gamma, and theta. So another reason for lucid dreaming is it deepens your spiritual connection. For many people, lucid dreaming is a direct line to the divine. It is this heightened state of consciousness as you do tap into your the alpha wave. Some feel an unshakable connection to the spirit self as they have met God. I have. I've met Jesus. And I didn't even know this was lucid dreaming, but yeah, it was a lucid dream like 30 years ago. And many people have been given profound insights, like really profound prophetic insights, like Razor Vard. I do trust my dreams because events have happened that became reality. Absolutely. I remember many years ago, I'm in Canada, and I had a dream. I knew somebody who lived or who had family members in Florida, and I had dreamt that there was a plane crash, Jacksonville, Florida, and the next day there was a plane crash. The plane crashed on the tarmac, so it didn't even lift off yet. It just crashed in some trees or something, but it was in Jacksonville, Florida. So yeah, I've experienced that too. Many of us have, but we don't remember our dreams, and so we don't remember the prophetic lesson or the prophetic warning, because we're in our egos when we go to sleep at night. If we're ruminating on problems and worrying and fixated on, oh, where's the money going to come from? Oh, I might get fired tomorrow. Or, oh, my ex is filing divorce papers tomorrow. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? When you take that to your bed, you corrupt your marriage bed as you are bringing in the enemy into your dream state and not allowing you to have intimacy in the dream state with God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. Delta waves, Razor Vard says, oh, you're on it. Thank you so much. 0.5 to 4 hertz. Theta waves, 4 to 8 hertz. Alpha waves, 8 to 12 hertz. Beta waves, 12 to 30 hertz. Gamma waves, 30 to 100 hertz. Wow, thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Yeah, and each brain wave has its own function. As the theta and alpha wave help us, they're more prominent when we're just waking up or just going to sleep or in deep meditation or concentration. Some brain waves actually help create hormones. I think it's the beta wave that the narcissist is most fluent in, as that is the fight and flight, the thrill-seeking brainwave, where you really have no fear, or you have no fear to, things like speeding. Like your race car driver probably is in their beta brainwave, because when you're racing a car at 200 miles per hour or whatever it is, however far the odometer goes, I mean, you're not thinking about crashing. You're thinking about, look at how fast I could go. Things are just whizzing by me. And that's like the narcissist. They don't have fear for things like that. Like they have this adrenaline rush that they chase. So where am I here? So imagine the profound insights, the soul level conversations that you come out of your dream state with. And just imagine the peace that comes from feeling spiritually whole. Lucid dreaming gives you space to explore the deepest questions of life, to feel one with the universe, to feel whole again, and to come away with revelations that can fuel your spiritual growth in ways that you never thought possible. So here's something else that lucid dreaming can help you with. It boosts your emotional and mental resilience. That's pretty interesting. See, life throws challenges at us all the time, but lucid dreaming lets you practice handling those stressful situations in a controlled, safe environment. You can work through complex emotions by changing things. If you go into a lucid dream, and before you get into that lucid dream, you say to yourself and say to God, I want to dream about this scenario that I had with, the teacher or the police officer or my mom or my dad or my spouse. And this, because this situation that you had with them is so significant that it's controlling and you're ruminating over it. And so you go into your dream state and you're going through it according to how you experienced it and how you remember it. And you can say, back it up a little bit. Back it up, Mr. Narcissist. Back it up, Mom. Back it up, Dad. Hold the phone, dear child. Just step back a minute and wait. And you can say, no, I'd rather you say this. And so in your dream, they say what you want them to say, and then you can work out these scenarios in a way that, okay, if they said this, I would do this, and this is the better outcome. And you can come out of that knowing how to better handle for next time, because you have better insight on what makes them tick. Because the spirit realm, God knows the people who you encounter, so God is going to let you in on a secret and let you know that, okay, if you say that, it's not going to go well for you. God is there to guide you in your lucid dreams if you allow him to. Use your dreams to allow Jesus to minister to you and guide you and lead you and teach you, because this life is all about you becoming an ambassador for Christ. So what better way to go into the Spirit and allow the Spirit to teach you spiritual things so you can come into this world and share that spiritual essence with everybody else and live in your spirituality and overcome and rise above all that mess that the physical world creates around you. So when you wake out of a lucid dream, you're not just surviving anymore. You're now thriving with new information, ready to face your life with a clearer mind and a heart that's no longer weighed down by emotional baggage, because you're working it out. You got like 3 or 4 hours in your sleep time to work that out. That's pretty awesome. Lucid dreaming allows you to empower yourself to take control of yourself. In lucid dreaming, you learn one of the most powerful lessons of life. You have control. I mean, in your waking life, we think that we have to control other people and control situations in order to control our lives, but it doesn't work. You'll find that the more you try to control people and control things and scenarios on the outside of your life, the more out of control your life becomes. But in the dream state, that's where you have control. The way you shape your dream world reflects how you can shape your waking reality, because both realities are factual. And both realities mix in together. Just like your spirit nature has no choice but to be the tag-along in your reality, you are the tag-along when your spirit goes into the dream state. And you can learn what the spirit wants to teach you that you're not listening to in your physical reality. In lucid dreaming, you finally realize that you're not powerless. You're powerful. And you can shift your thoughts, change your emotions, shift the blame if you wanted to, back onto the narcissist. You could direct your energy towards the highest purpose imaginable. And this empowerment in this dream world spills into your day-to-day life, making you feel capable of reshaping your reality. As you take those thoughts, when you lucid dream, ask God to let you remember your dream, because when you lucid dream and you remember that control you had, you come out of that dream feeling invincible. I tell you, I felt so empowered today. You get to shape your reality with intention and with purpose. You become the author of your own story, not the victim of circumstance anymore. Lucid dreaming also helps you to perfect, to perfect some skills that you may not yet have acquired or have. It's kind of like, in the Matrix where Neo says, I know Kung Fu. I know Kung Fu. That's kind of what it's like in lucid dreaming. It's amazing. Razor Vard says, being able to realize that you are in that dream is the first step. Being able to get a known response was helpful for me to know I have some control. Absolutely. Awesome. Amen. Yeah. You go into the dream state with confidence and saying, I will, I am capable, I will become aware. I almost got him. I realize that I do have control. I realize that I am capable of achieving great things in my dream, and I am aware. You take your awareness in your dream. And if you guys do this, come back to this video and comment on your experience. Share with me your experience. I am so excited to know what you guys did, because it is possible for us to meet each other in a lucid dream. It is possible. That would be pretty cool, to have us all have a picnic or go on a roller coaster ride together or something, like in a dream, like we make a plan and say, meet you there, you know, you bring the snacks, I'll bring the movies, you know, whatever. I mean, that'd be so cool. That'd be right on. So, you know, the thing is, your dream doesn't have to fade. Your dream doesn't have to be forgotten. You have full creativity and innovation in your dream. And the answers that you seek, well, they may come to you effortlessly as your subconscious wisdom guides you to solutions that you haven't seen before. And that's amazing. That, you know, that just lights you up. And when you wake, you've got these solutions that don't fade, that stay with you all day long. And they help improve your ability to solve problems and make decisions in your world. Like, that's a superpower, isn't it? Razor Vard says, 3 times in my life I had this, twice. 2 people passed away, one with my dad. I realized he went to heaven and reassured me, aww. And I felt like it in real life. I will never forget this. Oh, is that ever beautiful? That is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. You know, we think that death is the final destination, and it's not. I'm sure we could probably go see Moses in our dreams if we wanted to. It's not the end. Our dream state is tapping into the spirit realm. So lucid dreaming is more than just a dream. It's a journey into the deepest parts of yourself. A place where you can transform. This is so fascinating to me. I'm seeing the possibilities, because if you're having trouble getting to know yourself now, and that's what getting out of the narcissistic trauma, it teaches you to turn your eyes inwardly and get to know yourself, to become your own best friend so that you can learn to love yourself unconditionally. What better way to go to bed at night and go to sleep and take God with you to meet those angels, to meet those spiritual beings who lived before you, who live in heaven permanently, who are in heaven. And you get to ask them, what about me should I know? What is it about me that makes me so lovable? What can you guys tell me about me that will be encouraging? Because I don't see my goodness. I don't see my greatness. There's no opportunity in my waking life to spread my wings and showcase my spirituality, because everywhere I go, I'm being put down. They'll answer you. Razor says, also, I wish to share, I had an angel walk with me for 10 years. Then when we sat down, she looked at me and let go of my hand. She was telling me, you have found your wife. Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing. I don't know what to say about that. That is cool. That's really sweet. That's really like, aw, that's like heartwarming. And see, I could see angels doing and saying that, because angels walk in unconditional love. They let us be who we need to be, and they let us be with people who we need to be with for our own growth and for helping us. So angels, like, they're spiritual. And yeah, They do wonderful, beautiful things, but they're not walking in the flesh. And there's some things that they cannot teach us because they're not fleshly beings. So this is beautiful. I'm amazed. Thank you, Razor Vard, for sharing that. That's amazing. So lucid dreams happen. Just believe. Yeah. I found a meditation last night on YouTube, and I've come across many, lucid dream meditations before, but they say careful because you could have an out-of-body experience. Don't want to do that. But from the events that I went through yesterday morning of just my ego trying to kick me down again, I was already doing a meditation, and I just thought, this one came across. I thought, oh, okay, I'll try it. Because this was from a person who I trust, a source on the internet who I trust. And so I went into it right away. I was already sleepy, and I said, I will not have an out-of-body experience. I will not. And then I just fell asleep. And I was dreaming. And so that's why I wanted to share this with you, because there was an element to a dream that I had that coincides with trauma that I cannot remember. And it is really personal. It might be triggering. I'm going to spare you of the details, but I do share my sexual molestation that I went through when I was 4 or 5 years old with my mother's boyfriend. I do have a video on that. I share my story with you, not to say, hey, look at me. I don't claim that my story is any worse or any better than anybody else's. We all have our story to share. We all can relate, and that's why I shared my story, because there's people who suffer greatly because they're too scared, too embarrassed, and they feel shame in sharing any sort of trauma. And so last night or this morning when I woke up from the latest dream that I had, the dream was, I won't get into it a lot, but it was about me telling somebody. I was babysitting a young girl. She must have been about 4 or 5. And we are glad you are here, survivor. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. You guys are survivors too. You're surviving along with me. We're in this together. I'm not going anywhere unless you guys come with me. That's the plan. So thank you. But this dream was that I ended up looking after this girl who was about 4 or 5 years old, and she totally didn't look anything like me. But I ended up looking after her, like babysitting for the evening, and she was scared to go to sleep because she was scared of the dark. So I proceeded to tell her all the things that I had done in real life that challenged my own fear of being fearful of the dark. And I shared with her, in a way that a 5-year-old could understand. I fought a hairy monster. I didn't fight a hairy monster. I just stood up against a hairy monster. This hairy monster we know today as Sasquatch. And I've had to stand up against them a few times when I lived on the farm in the outback of Saskatchewan. And I, on that farm we didn't have a yard light. The yard light was burnt out and we never got it fixed. We never replaced it. So we just had the outdoor light from the back porch. And so at night when things would happen, the light would shine only so far, and past the light shine, past the division, mark of the light. You could not see your hand sometimes. You could not see your hand in front of your face. It was so dark. And one night, dealing with Sasquatch, what they like to do is they would like to take my dog, Muggs, out of the yard site. And so I called Muggs back. And I was standing at the back door, and I heard a hand clap. Sorry if that was loud, but I heard a hand clap just like that. And it was probably about 5-10 feet away from me, but in the darkness, and I couldn't see because the back porch light was on and there was no way I was going to turn it off. And there was no way, absolutely no way, that there could be another human being on the farm because I was in the middle of nowhere. The closest town was a 15-minute drive away. I was surrounded by a forest, 5 miles away, a forest here, on one side of me, 5 miles of forest here on the other side. I was surrounded by forest, three different angles on this farm. And to hear that at night, at 12 o'clock at night, and hear that, and it sounded like hand claps. That freaked me the right out. And here I am facing the darkness, knowing that there's something out there larger than me. And all it needed to do was step out into the light to make itself known, and I would have been like, woo, and I would have cried. I would have wet myself. I really would have. So in my dream last night, I'm sharing this with this little girl. Razorvard says, do you think this was so you could receive this sound? I'm not sure I understand your question. I'm not sure I understand your question. Oh, so I was supposed to receive that sound. Yeah, I absolutely think that, these creatures, Bigfoot, and we can talk about it on another, maybe tomorrow night or whatever if you want to. But yeah, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, they are creatures they speak by telepathy. They can speak any language that they want. They have their own language, and they understand English. They understand any language that you speak. I do believe that they clapped their hand to let me know that they were there. They have a twisted sense of humor where they take pleasure out of freaking you out, making you fearful, just like the devil. The devil loves to make you fearful. The narcissist loves to incite fear. That's their wicked humor. That's their twisted sense of humor. They don't know anything else. They love to intimidate. And if they know what intimidates you, they'll use it. And that was one thing. I had known that they were out there, and I was scared of them because I've seen them a couple of times. I saw them, and I was setting up a game camera and a wildlife camera, and I caught pictures of them, saw them with my own eyes, and I remember crying one day when I first I put some meat out to bait these creatures just so that I could figure out and really understand what I was dealing with. And I got involved in the Bigfoot community, so, baiting these things, trying to get a proper picture to bring it out to the open, to the world, and say, hey, these things are real. Like, I thought I was the next Diane Fossey. And so I had left some chicken out on the ground, and I came out to check it to see if it was gone. Either a raccoon or a wolf, coyote took it, whatever, bobcat. No, it was still on the ground, and it had a bite mark out of it, like a human bite. Like, you know, your teeth marks. It had like the round shape of a human bite mark. And so I flipped it over, and I heard footfall, like foot stomping, thump, 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 in the tree line about 20 feet behind me. So I left that chicken there. And I flipped it, like I looked at it, looked over it, flipped it over, looked over it, and it was just that one tooth mark. So I put it back on the ground, and I went back inside, and I changed the batteries in my camera, because I was taking like camera shots of every angle of this chicken, and just to, you know, look at it more in depth on my computer and go through it and just try to see if I can find any fang marks, teeth marks, whatever, right? So I came back outside because I was gonna bag this chicken, and this chicken was flipped over, and I had put it back on the dirt. And when it was flipped over, like, I knew it was flipped over because it had the dirt on it from it being, you know, on the dirt. And I just like, I then had a rock thrown at me. So I went back inside, and I just like started crying. And I looked out my bedroom window, and my bedroom window was like facing the front of the yard, and I could see, you know, if I turned my head this way in the window, I could see the area where I was, where I had put the chicken. And I just like looked in that area, and I said to God, and I started crying. I said, how do I explain this? I know exactly what I'm dealing with. We're dealing with a, you know, 10, 13, maybe 15-foot creature on this property. Oh yeah, and I did see a footprint too, and during that same instance. And I started crying, and I said, how do I explain this, where I can't even protect my dog? My dog has to go outside, and these creatures are tormenting my dog, trying to lure my dog away from the property so that they could do whatever they want with them. How do I explain this, that my dog goes missing, or worse yet, my dog is torn in two? Worse yet, my daughter goes missing. Like, how do I explain this? Like, my mind was just freaking out and going, ruminating, and just like, oh my gosh. And my ex-husband, who was my husband at the time, was away at work. So the reason why I'm sharing this story with you is because I'm looking out my window, crying, like dry heaving. I'm just like freaking out. And all of a sudden, the Holy Spirit came, took away my tears, and stopped me from crying. Like, it was as if I wasn't even crying. And I don't remember reading this scripture. If I did, I didn't know it. And I heard the scripture in my mind. I can do all things in Christ Jesus, who is my strength. I didn't need to go look it up in the Bible to see if it was proven true. I knew it was scripture, but I didn't memorize it, don't remember reading it. God gave me that scripture. And I just, okay, God. And I went outside, and that is when I found the footprint, and I walked a little ways further, and I I saw knuckle prints in the dirt. And knuckle prints, because they do walk on their knuckles sometimes to crouch down. So in my dream, I was sharing with this little girl, obviously not in detail, but I was just sharing with her, yeah, I had to, you know, come up against and I was challenged by a hairy monster in the dark. And this little girl was like, wow, you know, just enthusiastic with the stories that I was telling her. And I was, you know, downplaying them so I wouldn't scare this little girl who was about 4 or 5 in my dream. But coming out of that dream, God shared with me, and this was a lucid dream too, because I was having many lucid dreams. I was aware that I was dreaming. I was aware that I couldn't say some things, and I was bringing situations from my reality into this dream world. So that's lucid dreaming as well. I did get mold prints, Razor. I got mold prints, not of the footprint, but of the knuckle print. And I have pictures that the camera angle took very good pictures of the finger ridges, the fingerprint itself, the ridge marks. I got them. Those are in the dirt. So it was about the size of my hand. So I believe it was probably what we would call a juvenile, a young one, maybe a teenager. You know, it wasn't fully grown. So, but yeah, I'll share them with you guys. I got hair samples too. And I have one picture, but it's overexposed. So it's not that great, but I do share it. So yeah, you guys want to hear about it? Yeah. I've got like 9 years of experience of dealing with the Sasquatch Bigfoot. And I've written 2 books on them. Was interviewed by L.A. Marzulli. That was unique. That was a unique experience. He wanted me to come back, but I just didn't want to come back because at that time I was gaining popularity, and people wanted to come onto my property to see these things, and God told me that these things were not of him, so I didn't want to glorify it. I just wanted to, you know, at first I wanted to be the first Diana Fossey or the next Diana Fossey, but after when God told me that they were not of him, and I asked him in prayer, and right away I got an answer in prayer. He said, they are not of me. And so I didn't want to bring glory to the creatures. I just wanted to bring them out into the open to say, hey, you guys are going out into the woods and not protecting your kids, and kids are going missing. This is possibly why. And, you know, people are getting accosted in their tents and making light of, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to investigate the woods and I'm going to, you know, find the Sasquatch. And it's like, no, I was trying to bring attention to these things in a way of stay away. Keep your family and yourself safe. So going back to my dream, that has nothing to do with Sasquatch, but I was just sharing with this little girl the types of experiences that I had in my real life about things that challenged my fear of being afraid of the dark. And so when I came out of this dream, I was like asking God, you know, thinking to myself, okay, well, this girl didn't even look anything like me. She had dark skin. She was a beautiful girl. She had nappy hair. She was somebody that, she reminded me of somebody that I know in my real life. And so I was like, does this girl have anything to do with me, God? And God shared with me, yeah, when you were a little girl, you were afraid of the dark. And you were afraid of the dark because some bad man did things to you that you don't remember. And God had me remember this morning. And if I would have been given this insight a year ago, I would have been so upset and tearful. I probably wouldn't have done the videos for a week. It would have challenged me. But God gives you things. God gives you insight when you are ready to hear them. And I was ready to hear it. It was disturbing to me, but I just like, okay. Okay. I don't like this, but that is a possibility. See, I don't have memories of me being touched. But God shared with me, yeah, I was. Because that makes sense of why I wouldn't allow people to touch me in the way of my ex-husband. At night, he would want to cuddle, and I would be like, no, you stay on your side, I'll stay on my side of the bed. It was like as soon as he pulled me closer to him or tried to touch my arm or touch my hair or become intimate, and I'd wake up, I'd be like fuming. I'd be so mad and so angry. And I would always think that you woke me up, you woke me up. Now it's going to take me forever to get back to sleep. Well, now I know why. And there's some more things to that, but I'm not going to it's too personal. I'm not going to get into that. But it makes sense in reflecting on my relationships with men and dating. God told me that I made a secret pact with myself when I was young to not let any man touch me intimately. And obviously I have children, but I never allowed myself to be intimate with somebody in a certain way. Yeah, it was my ex-husband. He broke our trust to begin with, as I had a child out of wedlock. This was, before I was a Christian. I wanted to know God, but did I, dedicate my life to God at that time? No. So 30 years ago, I was searching for God, but I wasn't baptized. Not that baptism is a sign that you have God in you, but I wasn't reading the Bible. And if I was, it was like I'd read scripture and then I'd go off and do my own thing. I was still very carnal and very worldly. And something happened to where now, if that same situation, intimate situation between him and I, that had me get pregnant because I had sex before marriage, I could charge him with RAPE. Didn't know it at the time. When two people are consenting to have sex and they agree to use protection, that protection needs to stay in place. But in my case, that person took the protection off. And I didn't realize it until it was too late. So yeah, broke the trust there, and I found it very difficult to trust people or men to begin with, and that just did it for me. I never trusted him again the whole marriage. I never trusted him at all. And I did my wifely duty, but I never allowed him to become intimate with me. For one thing, he was a narcissist, so he didn't want to. But so God shared with me that was the reason why I never allowed anybody to become intimate with me, is because I was touched. And that touching, however it was, made me feel very uncomfortable. And for the longest time, like even with my husband, I had no problem going to bed with clothes on, fully clothed. Had no problem. I'd rather wear, a sweatshirt and yoga pants or shorts, rather than a nightgown. And I had no problem sleeping in my day clothes and going to bed. And it was because of the trauma, because I felt safe in my clothes. So, yeah, so God shared with me some pretty wild things that made me realize, okay, well, that explains my behavior. That explains why I do that. That's why because like, I tell you, you didn't even have to be intimate with me. Just sleeping in the same bed and touching someone, it didn't matter if it was a girl, a female, or a male, just the fact that your arm is touching me, it's like, I remember being in the car with my two siblings. And, you know, it was a bench seat at the back of the Buick. And this Buick sat 5 people, 2 people up front, parents were up front, us 3 kids were in the back. And my sister would, you know, sit in the middle, and this was before we had, you know, the law of wearing seatbelts. You didn't have to wear your seatbelts back when we were kids. And so she would push herself up to, you know, have her face in between the 2 seats, the front seats, and talk to our parents. And the way she would sit, her knees would come out, you know, out of her own spot, and her legs would infringe on my personal space in the car. And she would touch me, and she would touch me with her feet, and I would just be like, oh crap, no! Like, I would just be like, I had a fear of people touching me. I hated it. And so going to sleep in the same bed with anybody, it was just like, nope, I'm rigid, and I won't, like, I still don't move around my bed. When I'm in position, when I'm laying there, that's where I stay. I don't mess the bed. I don't move. I just make myself inconspicuous. Like, yeah, it was a problem. It was a problem living like that. The biggest healing for me has been talking about it. That's why I have this channel, to give back to you guys, because in my childhood, I was raised by a foster mother who basically told me, you don't have a family anymore, so your past is non-existent. So basically that took away my identity. I wasn't allowed to share my heartache. I wasn't even allowed to mourn the loss of my family. I was silenced. So going to school, the kids at school would ask me, why do you look so different from your sister? Like, were you adopted or something? Because my foster sister, like, my foster family, I went by their last name. So at school, everybody just assumed that we were all one family. But one child decided to be bold enough and ask, and said, okay, your hair's brown and curly, and your sister has blonde hair and it's poker straight. Like, what's the deal with you? Are you adopted? I'm like, yep. So they would ask me, it got around, kids would ask me, what was your family like? How did it happen? How did you become a foster child? They just asked me, and that was the avenue at school where I could finally be honest and tell my story. And if it wasn't for those kids, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have gotten into the line of work that I did. I wouldn't have become a peer support counselor at the age of 16. I wouldn't have gotten into crisis outreach. I wouldn't have become an author. I wouldn't have, shared my story to become a life coach. I wouldn't be counseling people today if it wasn't for those kids. So this channel is a way for me to give back, to say thank you. As you guys still are allowing me to talk, and because my memories have been fragmented where I don't remember a lot. And so talking helps me to process the feelings that I have, even though I don't have the memory. I talk and I share with you guys things like the healing modalities that I've gone through, and I share with them for you, and because maybe they will help you, maybe they won't. You take what resonates and leave the rest. But I'm so grateful. Like, I want to cry right now. I'm so grateful and humbled to be in this position, to have you guys listen, because you guys give me hope. And it's people like you and the students that have helped me. That's why I want this channel not to be just my channel, it's our channel, because when, like Razorvard, Joe, Diane, who else? Brad, Pete, Kent, you guys come on here and you ask questions and you share your stories. Global Solidarity comes on and shares. Also, there's so many other people who come on and share and ask questions. You guys are helping other people in a very big way. It's not a small thing to even just ask a question. That's a brave thing, to ask questions. So keep doing what you're doing. So Razor says, sorry you had to endure all of that. Yes, I understand. The group that was part of listening and talking was the healing support. It's the best. It is. And then the next thing I would recommend, what helped me, is I started writing poetry. I started writing stories, and then I started drawing and using pastel, really finding a medium, charcoal, pastel paints, pencil crayons, not crayons, but pencil crayons, and just drawing. Then I got into clay. I love working with my hands. I love artistry. I love writing. I love crafting. I love painting on walls, like not just painting, but doing murals and painting scenes, painting characters on walls, like just doing things that allows your soul to shine. Because doing these things allows your soul to breathe when you're stifled in trauma and you don't have the avenue. If you're stuck in a relationship with a narcissist, you can't really go to them and be vulnerable with them in your feelings, because they're just going to throw it back at you and hurt you. So that was another avenue. And I have to say, dreams are also a big part of that, because since I can remember, I don't remember dreaming before the age of 7. But from the age of 7 until now, I haven't always remembered my dreams, but I kept dream journals. I write them down. I still write them down, which I should write down these dreams. But yeah, I have many dream journals. I have loose leaf papers filed away in cabinets where I have dreams written down from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So that's a real good tool as well, because your dreams, as I've said, can help you figure out your trauma and help you, if you're really willing to look at the pain, even the pain, those nightmares, if you're willing to look at them and write them down and just sit with those feelings and work it out on paper, that helps you too. Yeah, and what was the other one you asked about? Okay. And talking. Okay, prayer. Prayer, yeah, like I haven't always been a Christian, so prayer for me has not always been a thing. It's just in the past 30 years that I've turned to prayer, and that has helped a lot too. As I remember a couple of years ago, oh no, it's about 4 years ago now, I was dating somebody and they broke up with me, and I prayed to God and I asked, you know, what was that? Like, what did they mirror? Like, obviously that was a narcissist, and it was a troubling relationship. And I just asked God, who did they mirror? What reason did they have in my life to teach me a lesson? Like, their narcissist was narcissism that I've never endured before or don't remember. And God said, they mirror your sister. And I'm just like, what? And I don't have very many memories of my birth sister. And I just like, so he walked me through it. And he connected the dots. I had, well, God, I have this memory, I have that memory, I have that memory, and I have that memory. So where do I go? Okay, well, this memory led to this memory, and this memory, well, this is why you do this, and this is why you have that, and that's why you won't say this or won't say that or do this or do that. I was just like, oh, so like prayer is a huge thing if you are willing to allow God to be honest with you. But again, God's not going to give you anything that you can't handle. So just trust that, know that God is not going to, give it to you straight and blunt and be to the point and direct, so direct that your feelings are going to be hurt. No, he's going to share with you anything and everything that you are ready to deal with, and nothing less and nothing more. So I hope that helps. So, yeah. So this dream that I had this morning and the insight from it, it set me on fire to do this video, because I learned that lucid dreaming is also a way to healing. So that's another thing, Razor Vard. Prayer, talking, various types of art, whether it be writing, music, playing the musical instrument, singing, crafting, painting, using sculpting, gardening, whatever hobby or whatever, really lights you up. That's your opportunity to allow your soul to really shine and just breathe. So the information today, like, I don't think much about the past and what happened between me and my mom's boyfriend. I don't think about it a lot, but it has put a strain on my relationships, for sure. For sure it has. And I've done the best that I can to work it out with the memories that I do have, but again, I have feelings there that are really raw, and when you endure coming to know sexuality before you're ready at such a young age, it does create problems. It creates anger, it creates a mistrust, it creates fear, it creates a barrier between you and yourself, where when that private stuff, adult stuff, becomes known to you, you're no longer a child. So I barely had a childhood, because my mom was always drunk and going from foster home to foster home, and it really sucked, but that's okay. I'm not here to say, look at me. I'm sharing my story to help you talk about your story. and help you talk about your story with God so that He can reveal things to you. You know, I have an addiction to chocolate. And I asked God one day why I have an addiction to chocolate, because, you know, I can get to the point where I will give myself hives and really bad acne to the point that they look like boils on my face. I'll eat chocolate so much. I don't do that anymore, but I've gotten that bad. And so I asked God, why do I have such an addiction to chocolate? What is it? And God said, it was because of your sister. Your sister would do things to you, and in order to get you to not tell on her, she would bribe you with chocolate. So when bad things happen to me, whether, you know, stressful things, you know, a bill's due here and I don't have the money for that, or you know, something stressful in my life, I turn to chocolate. Still do. Mind you, I'm not addicted to it anymore, but, you know, I have my cravings. So Razor says, also building things, making connections in the real world sometimes bring that issues. It gives you the power to break away while you are in better frame of mind. Yeah. And sometimes brings, okay. Sometimes talking helps as it brings those issues to a point where you can get a handle on it. Exactly. You talk and you talk and you talk and you talk. Sometimes you can talk to yourself. Sometimes you can talk to family members and making connections in the real world. Absolutely, Razorvard. But sometimes, you know, you feel like you've talked to those people who have given you the opportunity to listen to you. Sometimes you've talked to them too much, and sometimes you feel like, okay, where do I go next? There's nobody else to listen to. As you know, I've talked to my aunt, or I've talked to my best friend so much that I've said the same thing about 5 different times. They must be getting tired of it, of hearing the same thing. Talk to God. Talk in the mirror. When you're doing dishes, making dinner, just imagine God standing right beside you, as He is your counselor. Imagine Him listening. And say, God, what do you think about that? Like, that was pretty odd behavior from me. What do you think about that? I don't understand it. He'll tell you. He'll tell you. So, yeah, like, lucid dreaming, I'm so excited to go into lucid dreaming tonight. I am so excited. So if you guys like this video and you haven't done so already, please subscribe. I'd be so ever grateful, as this is your channel and you help to make it grow. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share it and like it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want some reading material, here's my Ko-Fi channel right here. This is a place where you can download ebooks, find e-courses. You can sign up for a painting party as we discuss trauma in a group, and we paint a picture, get our feels out, allow our souls to breathe and shine. There's memberships where you can get in on Bible studies. You can find healing for a particular trauma, as there are a few coaching courses and memberships to get in on, as we do group programs, one-on-one. I talk to you on Skype and on email. So there's a lot of help on this site here for you. And there are some things for free too, so check it out. Let me know what you think. And if you guys are also so moved, if you don't want to support this channel by supporting me and buying product, because maybe you just don't have anything in particular on your mind right now. Maybe your trauma, you're dealing with it and you're good, which right on, by the way. That's awesome. Here's to you. I am so proud of you that you guys are making your way and finding your own way to heal from trauma and doing your research, doing your homework, and putting in the time and those hours of really doing your soul searching. That's awesome. Razor says, self-talk is good, and sometimes I sing. That helps. No, that's not funny at all. That's right on. That is awesome. Which I got to share with you guys today. I was outside doing some yard work, and there was a little neighbor girl, and she was sitting in her tree house, and there's a tree that kind of shields the yard where I was working in, kind of shields my view from the girl, but she could look past the tree and see me. So she wanted to see if I was in the yard, and as soon as she saw me, I looked up right at that time where she saw me, and she started singing, "Sweet Caroline, do, 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 loving you has never felt so good." And she was singing exactly like that and being really loud, going, "Do, do, do," like that. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to break out into Baby Shark right now. Just to get her to stop. Like, oh, it was a little annoying, but she's just being a kid. She was alone in her yard, wanted an audience, as kids do. So, yeah, so I sometimes sing too. I like to sing in an operatic voice, and just the hills are alive with the sound of music. Just break out and be funny, be comical, change your voice, and baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do. Just get funny, just be silly. I mean, it puts you, it's lighthearted, it allows your soul to sing, and it just allows your heart, it just allows your heart to radiate, some goodness for a change as you make trauma your focus throughout the day. So many days and years and months and hours invested into uprooting this trauma. Go ahead and sing. Go ahead. I double dare ya. I never used to sing just because, I developed a shyness to singing because my sister and I were in a band together with organ, and we formed, well, we didn't, but our academy formed a band, and we went around to practice, because at the end of the year, the different academies in this big city, we would all get together and have a band competition. And parents and family members would gather. Like, there was probably about 5,000 people just all gathered together, or maybe even more. It was a big thing. And one day in practice, our lead singer, she got a cold and couldn't sing, so my teacher wanted me to stand in the gap and sing Bryan Adams' "Run to You." And my sister was she would sing all the time, and she thought her voice was really good, but she wasn't asked to sing that song. I was. And so when I was practicing, she was staring, daggers at me, and it's like, I got to go home with this girl. I'm going to catch heck from her. And so I felt really, really, really shy. It just made me stop singing altogether. So, so now I'm just starting to come out of my shell and not care how I sound. I can sing good, or I can make myself sound really awful. And yeah, it depends on my mood. If I'm feeling really crappy about myself, yeah, my singing isn't that good. And especially when I start singing and I start being mindful of who my audience is, then my voice will start to deteriorate and get really bad. But if I just go for it and don't care, don't judge it, stay in my self-awareness and not allow my ego to take over, I'm on it. I got it. It's good. So yeah, so if you guys are, want to hang with me tomorrow, I don't think I'll be doing a video at 1 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, because I am expecting company tomorrow during the day. But it will be tomorrow night. And I got some good stuff to share with you tomorrow night too. So yeah, so if you guys want to support this channel and not support it by purchasing product, please make a donation here at my PayPal account. I greatly appreciate your donations and your support, as your donations help to pay my bills, I'm saving money to upgrade my equipment, as I have an iPhone SE. This is like almost 10 years ago. I don't want to part with it, but I can't use updated web apps and stuff on my phone because I just don't, it's so outdated. So yeah, so I'm looking for donations for that. I'm looking for donations for food and rent and, to pay my bills. So if you guys want to donate, thanks, because your donations help me to stay here. Like I said, I really appreciate this channel for what it is, for what it stands for. You guys make this channel what it is. And yeah, I was upset yesterday and I went and freaking blasted YouTube because I'm getting sick and tired of this. But that's okay. I'm getting tired of YouTube changing not just their algorithms, but I made a community post about this because I took a screenshot on my phone. I have pictures on my phone that show when using YouTube on my computer, on looking at one of my shorts that I did last week, it got 0 views. But then I used the app on my phone, it showed that I had 14 views. And this was like within 2 minutes. I had my YouTube open on my computer and I've got my YouTube open on my phone, and it's showing me 2 different things. And so I just like, no, I'm sick and tired of YouTube telling me and dictating to me what I can and cannot show, or what videos are good and what are bad. We all need help. We all have valid things to say. Why are we not allowed to say them? Like yesterday morning, I went on video and I was just ranting because I was just like, I'm in the business of intervention and prevention of suicide, and I can't even say that name. I can't even say that word. We have to say, I don't even think saying unaliving yourself is appropriate anymore, because the bots, these AI bots, will get a hold of it and flag your content. Like, we're all hurting here. We all need help. And we don't all speak the same language in the way of understanding. We're all here to help, and we all have our own crisis. And if somebody is in need, because you're dealing with depression that makes you have thoughts of not wanting to be here on this earth anymore, email me. I'm here for you. I will stay up all night and talk with you if that's what you need. Yeah, it's getting really crazy. I'm convinced that there's people that, YouTube has, it's not just all AI bots. I'm convinced that there are people that they have hired, and people do flag other people's channel. And it's getting ridiculous. You know, I have these videos on Rumble, Odyssey, and another platform that's like YouTube, but it's not YouTube. Just because YouTube just stifles and prevents this channel from getting seen by the people who really need to see it. It's crazy. It's redundant, is what I'll say. Without judging, I'm going to just say redundant. Interesting and redundant. So, but yeah, so I'll be here tomorrow night at about 10. And yeah, I think, 2.5 hours we've talked. We've been here. Wow. Thank you everyone for showing up. And again, I'll have links in the description of this video if you guys want to donate, or if you guys want to go check out my Ko-Fi and download some ebooks. I've got ebooks there for free too if you want to just check it out and see what you can download and see what interests you, you know. So I'm here for you guys, as you guys have been here for me, and I appreciate you guys so much. And if you guys do get into lucid dreaming, comment down below and come back to this channel and comment and let us know what kind of results you had. So that's my time for tonight. I'm going to sign off, and I will see you back here tomorrow. So thanks for hanging with me. It's been fun. It's been delightful. Good night, everyone.